blast at the Boss House meeting in Pullman-City. And we want to take our Boss House to the mountains and participate in this event. So we have often worked with the Pullman-City crew, and they are often here with their Boss House visitors. And today we are heading up and taking part in this amazing event. Yes, we will also present our Boss House here in a separate clip. I have checked everything for now, and let's see if something can be done here. Yes, such an amazing sound is of course only achieved with the failure model. Just a machine. It feels good. We can fire it up. Of course, we are looking at the boss. Yes, here we are now in front of the Boss House from Germany, ready to buy one. Welcome. And otherwise, tattoo and jewelry. First bike meeting of Pullman-City. It's not even in the city. Indeed. Hey.
That's not at all. It's a long-haired robber here. Not everything is good, and neither am I. Yes, we wanted to stop by and see you today.
That was for the Boss water. Of course, one or two people are known here. And this is the outdoor area. As I said, everything is still before the city. Here we already have a few big ones standing. So look at what's happening in the city. How lucky we are today to be here with the VE. So I'm right in the middle of the hustle and bustle. We're just going to wander around a bit. So what is really rare? Well, as much as a moped stands here in the pile.
Unfortunately, it's drizzling a bit.
It naturally hurts the soul to see all the boxes just standing out here. Yes, then you have to show them everything. So all around our Boss House machines. And they are also standing in a circle around our machine because they are quite rare, of course. These clutch models are hardly available today. Usually, there are these 2-speed models with overdrive, which were built until 2 years ago, and they have all been completely modified here. Then a barrier is currently being set up. Yes, you can see the timing belt on it here. Of course. Petra and Franconia have eaten and are gaining strength as a chain. So we continue watching.
I love my job.
I wish you a wonderful good evening here in Ulmer City. That Europe itself has a city in hearts and is the largest in the world. It is taking place again after 2 years, and I am glad and happy to welcome you all here.
We are almost picking up where we unfortunately had to stop 2 years ago. An important person is missing among us, but that has not prevented us from visiting this location again. With just over 100 motorcycles or over 100 Boss House machines, it's going to be an awesome ride on Friday as well as today. Today, it also happened for a Boss House rider. Having a wet butt is not unusual. But that didn't stop us from definitely coming here to drive into Main Street to absolutely throw an awesome party with you all again. This means we're really going to definitely step it up here on this awesome Burnout stone. We want to see the hearts in the fog. We want the smell of burnt tires. We want your cheers that encourage us to keep going until it becomes a loud pub and the tires of people. We are standing right in front of the Burnout stone. This year there are again a few trophies that we have already raffled off. What we are missing is the best Burnout. And my question to you now is, who is the first? Who exactly drives the crowd?
I know who is going to make a bang, but this is our highlight, the one who voluntarily lays it down with his Boss House. Now I will take a look at who we start with. Everything burns, 8 cigarettes and something in the paint, in the parts. It never takes long afterwards. I'm curious if anyone will show up. And of course, all kinds of people are represented here, from the mechanic striving for his bosses to the machinist, and all the way to the multimillionaire who just wants to ride a big motorcycle. It's all here, the same thing, namely the passion and affection for these amazing motorcycles with the legendary. Now they have actually found one.
Has someone really found themselves here? It's absolutely crazy. Yes, with such a boss roast. That's just insane. He didn't quite dare to fire his tank, but it was already quite something to witness. They say the youth at Boss House are usually a bit older riders who saved up for these vehicles and eventually had the money for a motorcycle. But here, the youth is also well represented with this monster vibe. And now, Berkshire is next in line. It's so awesome here, between these chambers. You can't even imagine it. Just crazy people. It's really wild. You're the biggest last bomb. Yes, he pulls himself through it. I could never do that. The atmosphere here is electric, with the roar of engines and the smell of gasoline filling the air. The crowd is a mix of seasoned riders and enthusiastic newcomers, all drawn by the allure of the Boss Roast 24. The event is a celebration of speed, skill, and the sheer thrill of the ride. Each participant brings their own unique style and story, adding to the rich tapestry of the event. anticipation builds as Bersher prepares to take his turn, the crowd buzzing with excitement. It's a moment of pure adrenaline, a testament to the passion and dedication of these riders. The camaraderie among the participants is palpable, a shared bond forged through their love of motorcycles. As the day progresses, the stories of past rides and future dreams are exchanged, creating a sense of community and belonging. This is more than just a race. It's a gathering of kindred spirits, united by their shared love for the open road and the freedom it represents. The Bosros 24 is not just an event, it's an experience, a journey into the heart of motorcycle culture. And as the sun sets, the memories of this day will linger, a reminder of the wild, exhilarating ride that brought them all together.
With machine and material, I find it a shame, but it will be cool. Yeah. You shit. Oh crap. He really destroyed the tire of that expensive card.
But he is coming very soon. So, let's take a closer look at how it looks up close and personal. We should examine it in great detail to understand it better.
Stand without donors. Have I already our robots so that it stays with them? Did you like that? The upper wheels are also allowed to clap occasionally. So, it goes on in Langstuhlen's annual profession.
That costs a lot.
And now we come to the trophy presentation. We would like to start with our trip today to Ballenstedt. We have that planned for further events.
2001, yes. You certainly didn't buy that a little.
The tire was just 600.
Everything that looks over it will be shot down in a thick bill in a few minutes. Whether you are here to welcome the winner of the 8th mile, traditionally, we have already done this every year as a quarter mile. This event is a significant tradition for us, and we take great pride in it. It brings the community together and celebrates our shared passion for racing.
That means even though the airplanes are landing, they then take off with their sausage house machines.
Yes, older men take a little longer, that's why they go for it and fully complete the quarter mile.
Whoever is the fastest in the end will also receive a big trophy here. Look, it's nicely made too. So, a wooden piece.
And here he comes, the stakes from the last exciting event.
Where did we encounter the fat Rotzmeyer?
Thank you very much.
A round of applause. Heilacht winning the 8th mile. How we look, those of us who are not afraid.
Here's a small sun show.
Next, after the burnout, he definitely pulls ahead. Cola is there. Yes.
Most have the special declarations, of course. Thank you for having me. Of course, it can be ordered completely. A motorcycle just the way one wanted it. Of course, it's no wonder at that price. It was a lot. I could order a fancy one for that. Yes, when I look at the neighbor's tip, it looks like it.
And every year it is the same. It has the most beautiful things about it, and is both technically and visually a real eye-catcher. This year we are definitely getting our haunts. Thirdly, at Spacebox. Yes, I'm sorry, I should have brought it by.
Yes, it is absolutely calculated. Everyone looks a little different for themselves.
I believe we have seen that now. Use and thank you very much.
It reminds me a bit of the gatherings in the East. Back then, we all had motorcycles too. Not that one, but Arbo and EMW. And they have also been modified and painted completely according to our own ideas. And thus you have never seen the same arms or the same EMW shoppers anywhere. But there are actually heartfelt congratulations for better ones, because these are, of course, absolute specials and custom-made items. Built in Tennessee, in America. As mentioned, just over 100 machines are here in the city.
The second place in the Besser Custom.
Oh, right, the trophy presentation. Yes, he was upset.
Ever wanted to see? What for? An old man. We're slowly getting on in here. You said that.
Yes, and this city is, of course, always fantastic for these motor events.
So we have already had many performances here. Here comes a nice greeting. Everything good or what?
Yes, I am, of course, somewhat familiar with the Postausgemeinde. But as I said, all crazy people, they all tick a little bit, like we do too. And of course, it's nice to move around a bit among these people.
The man is possible, and as mentioned.
The city itself is, of course, perfectly suited for these events. We have already had many appearances here in Pullman-City with our motorcycles, and those have been wonderful events. 2001, because you can certainly celebrate a Western location. Here, very well.
Great.
Everything is best of box.
And here too, all the small details must be taken into account. Film clips on the cable covers, the tank from the original bikes.
So it is simply an eye-catcher. Thank you, Birger.
I don't know why.
Thank you. Indeed, a favorite trip. Best of. So, there are many great parties. Not just a sight to behold. By now it drives so wonderfully. Yes, there are no words here. I know that donors are different. But now we will find Christian and Tom with the Stingray on stage for the 2 Festoff show.
So they are also looking at us. Best of show. What else? Stingray 62.
The boy loves his father, but I believe he loves his mother even more. Best of show sticker. Let the others come.
Yes, that is...
Isn't that a background? Until next time.
Thank you very much.
Of course, it's not that easy to drive onto this ramp, especially when it rains a little bit more. So you have to be careful and cautious.
But yes, that would have absolutely, definitely been a really big blast if that works. This individual who finds themselves in this particular situation due to an unfortunate series of events often referred to as a jinx is present here. The jinx which is believed to bring bad luck or misfortune, has led to their current predicament. Despite their efforts to avoid such outcomes, the jinx has persisted, influencing their circumstances in a way that has brought them to this point. It is a situation that many might find themselves in, where despite their best intentions and actions, an inexplicable force seems to guide their fate towards an unfavorable outcome. This jinx, a term often used to describe a curse or a spell, has had a significant impact on their life, leading to the series of events that have culminated in their presence here today.
The story of this jinx is about an 8th-mile race. He is sitting on his motorcycle. The throttle is twisted, and the tire is almost spinning out.
He revs the engine to start and forgets to open the fuel cap. Yes, the man is indeed disappointed, but he still receives a trophy. The highlight of the weekend is Andreas Decker. And I hope he doesn't forget to open the gas to get to the sink.
2001. At the weekend on the 1st of January, Andreas Decker.
He has the fuel tap too. He actually has it on. You. What do you say? Congratulations. We still love each other. Later, this is the location of the island of fire, or she just woke up long enough to make you want to.
Of course, everyone is still outside because the trophy presentation is taking place outside. But you can already imagine that later on, things will be lively here, with people mingling, and the band seems to be really cool.
Yes, unfortunately, that's true. There are still a few guys who are still involved with it, like Ollie in Switzerland and Schmood up by the Baltic Sea. There are still quite a few dealers scattered throughout Europe, but I would say that of those we had bred in Europe back then, there are actually not many left.
And what about the brand itself? Well, it no longer exists. Somehow I think a soap opera has been stirred up, bad rumors, or is there really something to it?
No, it is actually true that the company has been sold now, or rather not now, but already in 2018. This is someone who actually produced horse shampoo. He has now bought this company. Unfortunately, not much has really come of it, and the young team has sadly missed the opportunity to address Euro 4 and Euro 5. Therefore, unfortunately, no new motorcycles will be able to be sold in Europe.
So, you wouldn't be able to get something like that over here to Germany anymore.
They simply cannot comply with this standard here, continue to import used motorcycles, and also rebuild them here, restoring and selling them again. But new vehicles or anything like that will no longer come to Europe. And where's your headquarters now? We are near Cologne, that's where we are. You've always been there, waiting back then as well. We've been there since 2004, exactly.
And here you have brought machines today, so one could say, okay, you could take one home today, right?
Yes, that would be possible.
Tell me a little bit about it. You have something for a model.
This here is a big block from 2005. Of course, all the chrome has been powder coated black, the rims have been painted white, and the entire paint job is white. We have made a rear conversion here with a single seat, and also custom side panels were made for it. At the back we have an ER in the rear, and at the front an ER. The tire combination actually rides quite well, I would say. A lot of work has actually gone into this in the end. It is quite far from the original, so I think it has turned out quite nice.
Yes, it's actually the same for you as it always was at Boss House, right? People come, share their wishes, and you basically create the dream bike, don't you?
That's how it is. We tailor every bike to the customer.
In 2001, it was no longer possible to make new ones, so you take used ones and make them nice again. Yes, what else do you have?
We still have, yes, the stable is complete, there is still one here. This is now a small block, it's a bit more geared towards touring, with saddlebags attached at the back.
So one must say those were the 5.7 liters, 5.7 liters exactly. And they were indeed in the Chevy engines. They were also, I believe, in the Corvette.
The C Corvette, or actually almost every American car that came from Chevy back then, has this installed.
Actually very solid engines as well.
It is the most produced engine.
And are these larger ones the same structure or completely different?
No, the big block is basically the big brother of the small block. We are now using Jam Performance engines. These have never actually been in series production in a car, but have always been pure performance engines that have indeed found a place in many thousands when modified with cats.
And the transmissions are now, I believe, also 2-speed. I think the overdrive is still included or something like that. There has been some progress in that area, but I don't think it really works yet.
That's already quite good now. In the meantime, there is actually a transmission that is truly bulletproof. In 2000, they released a transmission that already had 2 gears and an overdrive. They have been around for that long. Yes, Boss Haus itself was founded in 1991 or 1990 as Boss Hock, and then in 1991 they had to rename it to Boss Haus. In 2000, the first 2-speed transmission was released, featuring a reverse gear, a proper forward gear, and an overdrive. In 2017, the first Winter transmission was introduced. Winters is a company in America that usually builds rear axles for top fuel racksters. And this gearbox actually holds up, so I tried to break it over 800 kilometers. Normally I have a knack for breaking things like that, but I couldn't break it.
But there has to be a bit of performance as well. Otherwise, a little bit is already quite demanding. In 2001, the new models all only have belts on them. Yes. We still have the chain model. I believe ours is from 94. Yes. And yes, you do that. This input gearbox in there, everything's still quite adventurous. But of course, I have to say again, with this carburetor model, it's really awesome. Even a small child would feel that way about the new injectors. So it runs through. You can count the beats now when it's cold. Yes, it just idles like that before it really warms up. It's just about how this engine runs. And as you said, yes, the sound is really unmistakable. These engines have been built thousands of times and are also found in all kinds of cars. Yes, nice. And the event, I believe you always organize that too, right? Or how does that work? Or how?
We help with the organization, and we also carry out some of the rides here at the event and such. But the main part is taken care of by Pullman-City itself, and we assist a bit to ensure that it becomes a great weekend for everyone.
And how long has the event been going on now? It has been a few years.
The first meeting took place in 2000, the 5th one, where we started with 45 motorcycles in a triangle.
Today there are just a little over 100. There was a bit of a pause in between, I have to mention that again, but I believe there were also times when it was up to 300.
We had a great time, and we had about 230 motorcycles or so. 230 boss, we had them here in the area. Now there has been a break in between. Unfortunately, 2 years ago, Wolfgang passed away, which really created a rift in this community, because he was someone who was always present, and the gathering was also a blood brother to many here. One must simply say,
he built that up from scratch and really lived it. So it was a hard blow for us and for everyone involved here. Not just for the boss, but also for his city here. He truly lived all of it. 1,000. It's incredible what has come about here. One must simply say. You heard how the city grew, but Wolfgang took it over and skillfully guided it back in the direction where the city stands today. An absolute tourist magnet, and you can really see it at these tech events as people love to go there. Well, okay then. We'll check later what surprise we still have. And thank you very much. I'm glad. All good. See you later. So that was Frank from Boss Haus, Germany. And here we have the stand again. Here we have some bikes on display. So as he already mentioned, one could just take a motorcycle like this if they wanted to, right? If you have the pace now, you could also buy a Boss like this from you. That works. You see, the customer is coming in. It's happening. You just bought one, W. You just made a purchase, my 4th one. Insane. Look, there are a year of freezing standing here. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yes. It's absolutely wild here with some really crazy people around. These jackets, which are quite notorious, are only handed out to the route drivers by Russo's Germany. This happens specifically when you stall the car at this particular event. Additionally, you keep running into acquaintances, making the experience even more interesting. The jackets are a symbol of a unique tradition, and receiving one is almost like a rite of passage for the driver. The event itself is filled with excitement and unexpected encounters, adding to the overall thrill. Everyone here seems to be in high spirits, contributing to the lively atmosphere. And here we have Jürgen, who is also a classic car fan and can always be seen at such events, in 2001 from Crane, Brandenburg. Yes, Brandenburg, his own patch.
And here is a classic car fan who has been to our meeting a few times. Show us what kind of vehicle, exclusive vehicle, you brought with you. I'm curious to see if you recognize it. Please show it to me again. So he also collects Wehrmacht technology, the Wehrmacht motorcycles. 1000. He also has quite exclusive vehicles in his collection. Yes, you naturally meet such people here at this event as well. And look here, this is what he has in his garage. For those who don't know, this is the NSU Kettenkrad, which was built during the Second World War for use in the field. And so there is a 4-cylinder engine in it, or a young Opel engine. And the front part is from the NSU, right? Yes, NSU Kettenkrade. And the whole thing is actually a tracked vehicle. Yes, NSU also built that. Yes. And 1200 cubic, right? 2500. 6 and 30 horsepower. And they were developed directly for the Second World War, for the Sweet 39. Yes, and I believe he was already with us at the event over 10 years ago, or 15 years ago. But this is a different one. The other one was desert color. This is now a different one. But 10 years is at least time. Racing time, what capitalism? Nothing more to it in such a week or so in the year. Yes, then come by again with your Getting Grad. That's still 500 Tasche Lira Marte, the military version, quite rare, from the Second World War. I'll show you, again after restoration. And I already had some time off. And how did you come by the Kettenkrad? My son arranged for it. I had to sell my Anhat 45, but in June. Just because it was 2001. And the other one, have you completely restored it now? No, that was just a radiator, newly made.
Thank you very much. Very nice.
Really nice feeling here. Ben is indeed very quiet from above today. Really beautiful rock. Is real Lucy going strong?
Amen. Well, how to brake, don't you know? 2001 French fry. The atmosphere. Still 243.
And it's a nice event as well for anyone who wants to come by around the beginning of July for the weekend.
About my wife.
Cool people, cool bikes, cool city. Ursus will probably be in the city.